Welcome, welcome. I'm just so excited to show you this top. Someone sent it to me, and the main reason I'm doing it is twofold. Number one, I love stripes. Number two, I love easy. So those two put together, it's a home run, and I just think this top is a home run. So I'm going to show you all the little parts, where we started, how we did it, and hopefully you'll just love it as much as I do. Stripes are really seasonless. They really go year-round. They work on all levels. They're great under vests. They're just so great for fall. So here we go. I started with pattern number 216. Well, you know what? I didn't even show you the picture. Let's start with the picture. Someone had sent this to me. I love stripes. I love stripes on an angle. And I love them going different directions. There's several designers. I don't know who this designer is, but there's several designers who just spend a lot of time and effort making stripes go different directions, and stuff is very expensive, but I don't know who this is and I don't know how much it costs. I just like the idea. So if you notice, it's cut across, and that is pattern 216. It's like all done for you. The only thing you're going to do is change a little tiny bit. So 216 is Ronen's asymmetrical top. I love the pattern anyway, so to just use it and change it a little bit and make it a little different is even better for me. So let's show you what I did. Let's go to the next picture. And you can see that what I did is I drew a line down center front. So in Ronen's, in the original pattern, the split is off to the same side, but in this top, if you notice, it's to the other side of center front, that wraparound piece, which is this piece here. It comes from the back and it actually wraps around, but it only wraps to the side. We're gonna wrap it further. So really all we're gonna do is, this is the pattern, is we're going to cut off this section and put it on this section. Really, really simple. That's it. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the parts. Let's look at the pattern work. There's really three changes that we're going to do. The first is we added length, and I added length. The red lines there are where I added length, and the reason I did that is I wanted to make sure it was long enough. Keep in mind you could always cut it off afterwards, but I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to wear it with leggings, so I wanted to make sure it had enough length. So I added 2 inches, and if you look at this piece, this is the front, I added 2 inches here, and the shorter parts, I added 2 inches there. And again, you could add longer, but you can see on that drawing where I added the length. Okay, then the second thing I did is I changed the angle of the line. So what you can see is this is the part that I went this way with. I marked center front, and I wanted to go past center front. It doesn't even matter how much you go past center front, but you take that chunk off and you put it on this. So what I did is I showed it on the brown circles. So if you look at the brown circles, and you can see where I took off that, I got an arrow and I put it over there. And then I just smoothed out the bottom. Don't go crazy over smoothing out the bottom. Just even leave it ragged, because once I put it on, I could kind of see where the stripe went and where the pattern went, and I just followed the stripe. So don't make that complex. Just add enough length in these two parts, and these two parts are where they come together. These are the two sides that sew together. So when you're adding length to one side, you want to add length to the other side. You could add 3 inches. Just make sure it's enough that you can cut it off and get it to be what you wanted. Okay, so we added length. We took one piece off of here and put it onto the other piece so that when it wrapped, it came around. And then the last thing I did is I changed it to a V-neck because of the stripe and the placement. And I used another yard of fabric. I used 3 yards instead of 2. Just so that I could make sure I got placement out of it. I used fabric 4662. We've got just a tremendous amount of wonderful striped fabric, so I don't think it matters, but in my case, the stripe went, the stretch went in the direction of the stripe. So if you go to the photo, when you look back originally, if you go back to it, the stripes were vertical in the back part and the sleeves. I changed it horizontal so that my stretch would be with my sleeve, and I actually like it. I like it in the picture, but I like it how I did it too. So it doesn't make a difference. You get to choose how you like and see what you decide that you like. On the V-neck, I did 20 at the shoulder and 12 at center front. So it's an 8-inch, 20 to 12. That's a very common V-neck that I use. It's a soft V-neck, so I didn't have to add fold over trim or a binding to it. I could just turn it under And you can see it's still kind of a V-neck. I could just turn it under and top stitch. It's not, but it's not a sharp V because otherwise you have to add something to it to get a really sharp V. But it does follow the lines of the stripe, and you can see that then when I laid it out on the fabric, I just allowed that whole section. I used the neckline kind of as a little bit of a guide as to how to lay out the fabric on the front. And you're already cutting single layer, so it's not like you have to duplicate anything. It's really just simple. The minute I saw the picture, I thought, that's Ronen's top. That's 216. And then on the back, what I did is I went ahead and laid it horizontal so that I would get the stretch. And I left a little more room down around the tummy area because for me, I don't like it real tight, but anyway, so I did that. But that's all up to you. So then those 3 changes is all you have to do. The other thing I wanted to mention is, I wanted to show you these following pictures. You can see that one's just from the front. You can kind of see a close-up, not on me. And then I showed you the right side. And then I showed you the left side. So you can just see that there's no stripes matching because the stripes are completely going different directions. And it's just fun. This continues. There's no side seam at all. It's just fun. So the goal is to just have some fun with some stripes. Easy top. Great stripes, looks great, sews easy, just fun. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.